Okay, I want to go ahead and welcome all of you to another one of our co-founder meetings. It's Monday. It is January 13th, about 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do these co-founder meetings twice a week at this point. We do them on Mondays and Thursdays at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also have an opportunity meetings that we do on we do those on Tuesday. So that'll be tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I was having a little chat with one of you that's present earlier today. Apparently, a big revelation to them. They wanted clarification on the bonus. So I thought I'd just start today off by saying, yeah, this is an exciting bonus for our co-founders. Once you've achieved it, you'll receive 10 times whatever you're holding in your MetaMask wallet at the time of uh, you know achieving it. So in about a year from now, you guys will start hitting that point where some of you have achieved it by that point already, about a year from now. Um, and it'll just be an ongoing thing after that until we fill all 10,000 spots. To be very, very clear, this is with all four of the coins. Okay, so whatever you're holding in all four of our coins, right now we have three coins. We're going to be launching another coin soon once we open up the $1,000 pool. But the point is that whatever you're holding, okay, in your MetaMask wallet at the time of achieving the bonus, you will get 10 times that amount. Okay, so for easy math, if you're holding one coin of each, right, one PFI, one PFB, one PFS, and so on, then you would end up getting 10 PFI, 10 PFB, 10 PFS, and so on. Okay, so you'd end up, if you had one, with the bonus, now you have 11. Okay, so this should encourage people to hodl during the bonus accumulation period, and that would be great. Okay, and then after that, we'll start building partners after we fill the 10,000 co-founder positions. We have videos. Go back to my channel, watch the videos, especially one that says bonus. And this is covered in detail there, but I'm just kind of giving you how the reward works on that. So today we're going to take care of a couple of things that just concerning these meetings that we're having, these co-founder meetings. We want to kind of address a couple of things and get your input. So let me bring Hunter online here. So can I mute? So which item should we
Hunter
start
is
with?
on station.
What's that?
Let's go ahead and start with the question of two co-founder calls a week. That's
O-
probably going to be pretty straightforward to deal with.
Okay, fair enough. So at one point we were having meetings 7 days a week, right? For training and whatnot. Then that turned into like 4 times a week, and then went down to 3 times a week. And currently we've been doing two a week since the beginning of the holidays. So I guess the question is two a week good, or should we go back to I guess Sunday nights or whatever is an option, or we could talk about another day. But what's your opinion out there regarding
I think two's good.
two's good?
Uh,
So Mondays and Thursdays working pretty good for you, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. What other input would you anybody else want to contribute?
I like two. I
Two?
think that's great.
Dean also says two. So Monday and Thursday, right?
I agree.
Okay, Ken
I
agrees.
agree.
too.
Two meetings.
I like these evenings.
I
Yeah,
agree.
agreed. Two meetings.
Two is
Okay.
I
good.
think two is good for now, but once we get much larger, we might need to do more just so people have a chance for Q&A where if there's hundreds of people, you won't be able to do Q&A with hundreds of people without going 3 and 4 hours.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a good point. So Debbie chips in we can reconsider this once we're much larger and more people showing up. So, okay, fair enough.
One suggestion, Ace.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, Ken.
Ace, can I make a suggestion
Yes,
for our
course.
folks, for our members who find this time inconvenient? Maybe we could have a weekend meeting occasionally, like on a Saturday,
Uh-huh.
like for folks in the UK and Europe and.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
the thing about picking a time is that it's going to be inconvenient for some part of the world, right? But we, surprisingly, we end up having people from the UK here pretty regularly, but for them, it's like, early morning. I believe Prakash, you're in the UK, right?
Yes, yes, UK.
What time is it there now?
Um, nearly 20 to 3 in the morning.
Okay, so it started around 2:30. It's 20 to 3 now. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
but for me it doesn't matter really any day because I work shift work and days and nights, so it makes no difference weekends or weekdays. So me personally, I'm okay with whatever the group are wishing to do, and yourself.
all right, well, I appreciate that, and we appreciate those that do attend, at this particular hour of your in your part of the world. Anybody who shows up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for a meeting, we appreciate that very
That's
much.
after bar and dancing time for most people around the world.
Yeah, a lot of us are kind of past that point in our lives. So,
Well, you know what they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
and then there's that. Right. Okay, so I think we've got consensus. Hunter, what do you think? 2 a week, Mondays,
I'd
we'll
say
stick to
so.
Mondays and Thursdays, so we'll move forward and we'll continue that pattern for now. And there we go. Okay, so that takes care of one item. I think we had another item to discuss as well.
That's correct. So, unfortunately, this is something that really want to talk about, but I think this has happened 3 or 4 times now where we've had trolls on the call kind of disrupting things or at least trying to impersonate someone, and that's the sort of problem that just doesn't go away on its own. So, 2 solutions that have been talked about for that I've talked about with a couple other members is solution number one is that we completely lock down the Zoom calls, or rather at least the co-founder meetings, and require registration for people to get a link to those calls. And I'd be handling that and approving registrations manually. So ideally at that point, if everyone does what they're supposed to do, no one should be on the call that shouldn't be on the call. Now that's solution number one. And solution number two was that we simply switch out the link every now and then once a problem shows up. There's pros and cons to either option, so I definitely want to get the community's input on that, and we can go from there.
All right, so let's ask first of all how concerned everybody is about the issue of people showing up that come with the intention to disrupt our meeting. Who else is concerned about this?
I promise I'm not a troll.
Well, we know you're not a troll, Gregory.
That's what Troll would say.
That's actually right.
All right.
I like the first option.
Okay.
I mean, it's just as easy to boot them out, isn't it?
Well, yes, but that for me to notice that they were a troll, then they had to get started being a troll in the first place, and I'd rather tamp down on that as much as we can, so before it becomes a problem, you know?
I also, sorry, I'm still going through this asthma. I do notice that what they would have access to, like each picture, there's 3 dots. They can click on view profile and add to contacts. So I think, if they come in, they might be able to cause havoc at a later time because they can view our profiles and add them to their contacts.
Okay, like you're talking about Zoom contacts?
Well, like see, like if you hover over name,
Telegram.
yeah,
Oh,
if you click
oh,
on
oh, you're talking about Telegram.
I don't know where it's going. It says add to contact, so I don't know whether I don't know what kind of contact that is, but if you click on it, you'll see it yourself.
That's a whole separate thing. They won't be able to get into the meeting based off of that alone.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know kind of if they could breach any security in there or not. But like you said, I would rather not just have them in there. I like for everybody to be screened in, because people got a way of conjuring up stuff out of thin air these days. It's a shame.
Right. Okay.
Hunter, when you say register, let's just say that I'm joining today and I'm clearly legit. Do I have to register like every time I get on the Zoom, or is it a one-time register until I maybe end up being a
One-time
jerk or
deal.
something, or what?
One-time deal until you end up being a jerk, which I sincerely hope doesn't happen, but
It's
people
only
are
been
people.
6 months. Give me some
That's
time.
all I can say.
Yeah, but
Question.
with registration, if you get booted out, anybody gets booted out under something that's registered, my understanding is that they can't come to any future meetings after that, right?
That's correct.
So they're booted for good. So unless they go ahead and switch their Zoom account to a whole new one,
Is there a way that you can put like an invite code to everybody in a group where nobody else will see it except for us? And if they don't have that invite code, they can't get in every week.
Oh, Mark, are you talking about like a special password that only our team know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And that way nobody else can get in and
right. Sounds good.
that would solve that problem.
Well, the point of fact is we also probably do have at least one troll in the Telegram group that we don't know about, and certainly quite a few scammers. So that would honestly be no better than what we have right now.
I would like to see the Telegram group be a little bit better monitored as far as letting people in, because they got to be or should be coming in by invite, such as, Karen Soils has invited somebody into the group, so they're clearly not going to be a troll. But if it's just, I don't know how they get in the group if they haven't been invited by somebody, but who invites people who end up being trolls? That just seems kind of odd.
well, yeah, that's another thing, that's for sure, as far as Telegram goes. But ultimately, I think the solution for that will be we'll end up having what we're doing on Telegram on our website at some point. So that's part of the plan. So
Is there a way that you can find out who's actually in pool funding that's actually contributing? If they're not contributing, see ya, meaning making their payments, meaning they have an account and they're doing their $10, $1, whatever. If
well,
not,
we have more
get a
members.
message.
Yeah, we have more members than we have people in the Telegram. So the Telegram doesn't represent all of our members, but it represents those that are, where at least at some point we're showing interest to be there, to be on that part of the group. But I think we'll be phasing that out this year anyway. So we'll be, it'll just be part of the website, and then we know who you are because your profile, right?
Yes, but some rooms can have it like when you invite somebody, the membership would be pending on upon the admin's permission, so that even though, like, let's say I invite person A, they just can't come into the room unless approved by the admin.
Okay. So you guys okay with the idea of well, let's have Karen. She has her hand up. Karen, go ahead. What's on your mind?
I'm just wondering about the administration of this. Hunter, if the link is good for as long as we behave in the Zoom, is this something that you could start giving people now ahead of the next Zoom so you're not inundated with all sorts of requests 20 minutes before the Zoom goes on?
So I haven't actually made the new Zoom with the registration as of yet. I'm probably going to do that after the Thursday meeting. That way, everyone has the chance to get it and send out the registration form to their referrals. And that way, I have as much time as I can to get through the other people trying to get that link.
Okay. So this will be just for the co-founders meetings, not for the business overview. Is that correct?
That's right. For the opportunity calls, I mean, given their nature, we probably just have to leave them as they are. I mean, I'd be open to changing the link out on that one every so often, but that's probably an entirely separate question.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So how about is there anybody that would object to the idea of registering to get into a co-founder meeting? Any objections?
No objection here.
All right, going once.
Well, wait, Ace, I would say either yourself or Hunter have all our information because we've registered. So you have our email, you have our phone number, whatever. Maybe just email out this registration link so it can be as we just touch the link, we get in. We don't have to put in a meeting ID, we don't have to put in a code because you've sent it directly to us. It's not in some group that somehow they got into Telegram or Facebook or wherever they finding the link to get to be a troll within a group or within the Zoom.
Well, I
So
mean,
under
we're always growing, right? So we want to make it reasonable for the new people that just starting out. We don't want it to be too clunky for them to be able to join us on a meeting. And registration is pretty straightforward. You know, Zoom has that feature built in. So he just flips the switch, register for the meeting, and anybody interested has to register first, and then they get approved, and then that's how they get in.
right, and under the registration system, if we go ahead with that, is the actual link to get into the Zoom meeting will no longer be posted into the group at all. We'll have a link to register for the meeting, and you'll get the link via email. But we won't have the actual Zoom link in the meeting at all anymore. I mean, in the Telegram group at all anymore, because that would just defeat the purpose, really.
That works.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about the email aspect of it. Um, yeah, I've had bad experiences with broadcasting emails. So when you're sending out broadcasts, you know, it's so easy to get the pin you down as a spammer, you know.
Right,
They're really touchy, you know. So
If you do C or BC blind carbon as opposed to the other, then that way all the other emails aren't exposed to the other people within the list.
yeah.
So Hunter and you have, say, 1,000 of our emails. And if you're making the email list and updating it with new people all the time, when you send out the broadcast, only I see that it's from Hunter. I don't see the thousands of other emails that are on that list because they're blind carbon or whatever,
Well,
BC
yeah,
versus CC.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm just saying that you know, we don't want to have the email address that's sending be blacklisted and thought of as a spammer, right? Because, that's one of the things about email.
They have to opt in initially, right?
Yeah, they're up there. It's not, they have to opt in, but I know like Yahoo and Gmail particularly, those guys are pretty quick on the trigger from past experience with other programs I've been involved in. You can do everything right and still end up on their list of spamming because they don't care. These are just giant corporations. And anyway, I guess what we could do is we could just put the Zoom link on the website. You get to log in to get it, on the website. We could put a poster out saying that, hey, there's a meeting coming up in the Telegram. Yeah. It's so hard to get unlisted. If once they blacklist you, it's really hard to get, even big companies are always saying, check your spam folder, because they've been blacklisted before because broadcasting, because they're very touchy. Carrie's got her hand up. Carrie from Thailand.
How are you, Ace?
Good.
Ace, my question is, what happens if we use the school group?
Yeah.
Is that not a safer option?
School's good too. Yeah. Yeah.
You can do the meeting. You can do the live meetings through school, and then if people have to be approved to get into the group, you would have to maybe approve, get the sponsor to approve whoever's been added. Yeah, just an option.
Okay. I have less experience with school. Our AI guy, Garrett, he's kind of turned me on to school, so I'm still learning about it. But we have put the invitation link out in the Telegram group to school to be part of that. What I like about Telegram is I can click and call you guys, where school doesn't have that, ability to make phone calls or video calls. At least not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's a message. There's a direct message function in school. I'm not sure if there's a direct call function.
Right. Yeah, you can chat.
Yeah, they have to check it out. Yeah. But are the trolls really such a problem? Because maybe any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, that was the original question. How concerned are you guys about it? Because you've guys seen how I've handled trolls before, and how do you think I do handling trolls when they do come in?
I think it's great.
I think you do a fine job.
Quite well.
Okay.
I mean, Ace, when I think back the number of meetings that I've attended since I joined last June, and if we've had trolls on 3 of them, is it really a problem that needs to be addressed to this extent?
I believe it'll get worse as the numbers get higher.
Well, I'm sure it will.
Right now we're not that big a threat. Or we're not that big or whatever. So I mean, until we get into the thousands.
How many of you would prefer that we table this until we are at that point where it's a regular issue? How many of you would rather table
I
it?
agree.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree. Put it on hold
Not
for
a
the
big
time
issue.
being.
I agree. I like to see my family growing, but the last time I was his mother, right?
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah.
We should raise our hands. I didn't
And he
realize
didn't
that.
even
That was
leave
pretty
his
good.
name so I could sign him up. I mean, what kind of kid is that?
Yeah, come on. I know it's just funny. Yeah, so the disturbances might have cost us a few minutes, and we got a good laugh at it, afterwards. But I'm not sure if it's like a giant problem today. But you know, since it was brought to my attention and a couple of people showed concern about it, I thought as co-founders we'd come together and talk about it. So I think I'm in agreement with those that want to table it for now and wait till we get bigger and where that's a more regular issue. And then when it's a regular issue, you know, it may never become an issue because maybe we'll end up putting everything on our website. You know what I'm saying? So you have to log into your account to jump into it. That's the ideal situation is that you know, you jump onto a call inside of our website, right? That'd be the ideal situation. But for now, Zoom is good, and Telegram's good for now. But we're gonna outgrow these things pretty soon. Go ahead,
Is
Karen.
this going to be, you've got it recording. Are you going to release this? I don't know that this is appropriate to be in a recording released to YouTube to everybody, so to speak.
Why not? What would be the problem with releasing it on YouTube?
And that's just the point. We do release our co-founders calls on YouTube. So the information is out there for anybody to see anyway. They can't comment on it. They could
Right.
verbally, but they could leave a written comment. But none of the material that I shouldn't say none, but most of the
Today is
material
what I'm
we
talking
talk
about, not otherwise. Just today. This content today, I don't think
Well,
is really
this
that
is,
great.
this is good to let the trolls know that, hey, we ain't gonna put up with you guys, so who cares?
Yeah.
most of the material.
Go ahead, Karen.
Most of the material we talk about is not priority, like high priority or hush hush. So if we have a webinar coming up that you definitely don't want any trolls on, then we send out a new link
Right.
for that meeting only.
Yeah.
And then we go back to our regular link.
You know,
Just a thought.
no, it's a great thought. Great thought. I think in the case of this particular meeting, I think this is a demonstration of the fact that we are respecting one another. You know, this isn't a dictatorship, right? None of you feel like you're part of a dictatorship here, do you?
No, we all have a voice.
No,
All right.
not at all.
So that the whole point is, I think it's good for people to see that, you know, when you become a part of our community, you have a voice, and we want to hear from you. You know, because you know we're all going to have varying opinions about this and that, but at the end of the day, we find consensus, and from there, we move forward. And we're not dealing with anything super complex here. You know, where we're going to be really divided on anything. You know, everybody's interested in, you know, success, and the way we operate is kind of like what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So that's our modus operandi anyway, and the transparency, David, I think is a valuable thing to put out there. It's like this is just a reminder that we are transparent, right? We have no shame in what we're doing here. We know what we're doing. It's a good thing that we're doing. There is a need for what we're doing, and you know, and then you know, I want every one of you to really see yourself in an ownership position, not as some like small part of something, right? I want you guys to see yourself larger than that, being a part of pool funding, because as we get bigger, you know, there's only one of me, right? But look at how many there are of you already, and you guys end up stepping into leadership roles as we move forward because you're the ones that have the greatest amount of experience, you know, being here at this stage. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And so eventually we'll end up having lots of different Zooms, and many of you, we're going to grow into that, you know, and
I trust your discretion, Ace. I was just perhaps bring it back to your attention that this was being recorded is pretty much it, not anything else beyond that, just to be sure you realize this was being recorded, because
right.
sometimes you'll forget to record or forget you are recording and certain things might be
Yeah.
said. That's all. I trust your judgment.
I appreciate that, David. Really, that's very respectful. Appreciate that very much. So, Okay, well, I think that's good. We're going to table this concern until it becomes a larger concern. It's just not large enough for us to do anything, anything different in this regard, at this point at least. Okay, so that's good. So today, I think we've demonstrated the kind of community that we are. We are a community of, we're a community of adults that have come together, with our own backgrounds, varying backgrounds, and we're working with each other, not for each other. And this is an even playing field. We're all on the same team here, and we have the respect with the title that co-founder. There's respect that goes with that. It's a mutual respect, right? That we look at all of us here in regards to, this is going to succeed because of us, not because of me, not because of one of you, but because of, all of us combined together, going to make this a success together. And I think we achieved that through transparency and through taking polls, like this today, and coming up with decisions in a group format. And then people understand our policies were evolved through a group coming together, not through just one person making all the decisions about everything. And I hope that this shows you that I see the world in a way where I don't put myself at a point of superiority, but I see myself at the peer level with each of you. And I have great experience, but many of you in many different ways have greater experience in this, that, or the other. And then that's where that mutual respect comes into play, is that we all have something to add that's of value. And I'd like to see the world become more like this. How would you like the world to become more like this, right? Where you actually have a voice on the things that show up in your mailbox or and on your doorstep, or your car door, you know, things like that. Uh, um, we need to let me just project something. Let's project out into the future more here. To me, this whole thing we call humanity, the whole thing, it succeeds on the idea of sovereignty, individual sovereignty. So at some point, each of us will start to see ourselves in a light that recognizes that we are sovereign in the sense, this kind of goes a step beyond what people might call rights, right? And then there's a whole debate, where do rights come from and all that. But when you see something that's sovereign, there's no question about rights or or jurisdiction or whatever, those kind of things. So in the world I want to be a part of and want to see my children and grandchildren be a part of. Funny thing is, I just had a brand new grandson come into the world this week, so I'm a granddad all over again.
Congratulations.
I don't feel
Congratulations.
I don't feel like a grandfather.
Congrats.
Funny, I feel like I'm too young to be a grandfather. But it's just it's I think we all have that kind of thing going on, and the inside of us feels so much younger than the outside of us sometimes. But anyway,
Well, congratulations, Ace.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's super exciting.
So when we're Imagine a world where we all recognize each other as individual sovereign individuals, right? And we don't play these weird games with each other. You know, all the stuff that we don't like in the world, it usually comes down to a lack of respect for one another, right? And you can go a step above that in love, right? So ultimately, if we learn to become, a race that understands the nature of nature, and it is all about love, respect will be automatic. But sovereignty is a big part of it. So financially, if we get each of you to a point where, you know, you have power to stand in your sovereignty, right? You don't feel like you're in a position of desperation in any way financially. It makes a lot of sense. And so as you escalate financially, the ideas of sovereignty really start to, you really think about it. And maybe many of you aren't even thinking about this right now. I don't know. How many of you think about your individual sovereignty? Any of you thinking about that right now? Is that something
Nope.
you guys think about already? No? All right. Well,
Yes, I can.
who is that?
The work of being a sovereign. Oh, sorry, this is last year concert.
Oh, hey, Les. Okay.
How are you doing tonight?
Good. Very good.
Well, years ago, I claimed my own sovereignty, actually,
Okay.
kind of deal
Kind of went through a process. Did you do
over
like
my income.
status? Yeah. Change your status?
Yeah, I did. Like when it comes, yeah, when it comes time to sign a contracts or whatever, when you went to work or whatever, I never got payroll deductions taken, right? So that
Yeah.
kind of claims your sovereignty there over your property. So, and that's why I like this, what we're doing here.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
So, there you go.
Les, you
All on
know
my-
some stuff that these guys, I hope, will learn too, but yeah. But a lot of it is the self-image. You have to start there, you start at the point of you look at yourself and I keep asking you guys to think about the question, what are you, right? As soon as you have clarity on the answer to that, you'll want to protect it with sovereignty, right? Because it's kind of part of the deal, right? So once you really know what you are, you'll realize that you've always been sovereign in the eternal sense, and that's just how it is. And but we come down here and we forgot everything, right? So we're playing a little game down here of what's going to happen if we forget everything for a while, and how things playing out at that point. But but humanity as a, yeah, I believe our success will ultimately come down to the question of sovereignty. I don't see any other way that success will happen. There was no way to happen without it. Individual sovereignty. Once that's recognized and that we all treat each other accordingly, it's a much better world to live in. And even from there, right? It's not even, you're not limited to the world, right? I'm not even limited to the earth, right? So there's huge potentials way past what we would call earth. Anyway, so that's good. So just a couple of things to think about. Okay. I'm watching my words very carefully. I don't want to trigger anybody because I'm not trying to start a new religion. I'm not trying to do anything like that, guys. Okay. So I just want you guys to know that you're probably not giving yourself enough credit. That's all I can say at this point, is that I wish all of you would give yourself more credit individually. Look at yourself, give yourself a little bit more credit than you already have. Because once you're standing in that power of self, once you know that's the authentic power, okay, and the authentic authority. Okay, so authentic power and authentic authority is from self. And, there's been things like the Constitution that kind of recognize that in the US, in other places with their constitutions, about being self-governed and these kind of ideas, right? But, as you go hundreds of years past the point of a document, you can see that it gets a little messy as well, trying to define that and what gets supported in the end. So, yeah. But these are the kind of things I think about, and that's my influence upon you, is that I think these are worthy thoughts, things to think about. Okay, so thank you all for coming to our co-founder meeting today. We got lots of participation. I want to thank each of you that have showed up today live for the co-founder meeting. Our next one will be on Thursday, and tomorrow we're going to have our opportunity meeting. So we can go ahead and all unmute now and say bye for now.
Get her done.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Bye for now, everybody.
Ciao.